Get ready for Netflix's gripping new medical drama, Pulse. Set in a cutting-edge Miami trauma center, third-year resident Dr. Danny Sims is unexpectedly thrust into a promotion when beloved chief resident Dr. Xander Phillips gets suspended. Then, with the emotional and physical stakes at their highest, a storm will push the hospital and its residents to their limits. Witness how life can change in a heartbeat when you're operating under pressure. Watch Pulse, only on Netflix.
Okay, welcome back to It's Just Coffee, because guys, it's just coffee. I'm Kirk Pearson.
I'm Rohan Cook.
I'm Park.
And welcome to
It's Just Coffee.
We got a big show today, guys. We got Brew Boy here. Pack, What's your surname?
Just Tanpapat.
We'll just call you Pack. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. It's great to be back for podcast number 3. We got an awesome one. Just speaking to Pack before the show started, I was like, oh, damn, there's some juicy goss here.
Oh, yeah. We've gone through a whole podcast before this podcast.
Yeah, the podcast before the podcast. It's like the interview has been longer than the actual, like the pre-interview has been longer, but, you know, that's the way it works in journalism, which this is not. How are you?
Good. I had no idea this is a big production.
Yeah. No, there's a full on team behind this. So welcome. So
Thank you.
What was the Sub-Zero podcast is just like been injected with some steroids. We got somehow I just said Sonam because Sonam's sitting behind you. But Rowan's included, and here we are.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought we were just going to come here, make some coffee, and that's it.
No, we
Spontaneous.
had to trick you into coming, and then we're just bang straight into the podcast.
That's good though.
But hey, we're introducing some coffee news to start the podcast. I'm going to go through some coffee news. We'll get your comments and all the stories. But starting,
I also just wanted to say, as we build this out, the coffee news, we've got Liam sitting here who's producing this for us. Also a great musician. Mm-hmm. We're going to start getting some like little stings. So if coffee news becomes a section, we need to start thinking about what that song is, what that little break into coffee news is.
it's coffee news. All right, but let's get the main stories. Let's get the main stories.
Yep.
All right, so coffee price in Melbourne could be reaching close to $6. I'm assuming for a small. That was according to a 10 News report I saw. Your thoughts on this, boys? $6 for a coffee. Are we asking too much?
No, it's all right.
That's
For me,
all right?
$6 is easy.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for us not to say that it's all right when you work in the coffee industry and you see actually like all the prices, all the shipping, all of the, all the different stages that go into making a cup of coffee. It's hard to be like, no, it's not actually worth that. In fact, maybe it should be more.
Yeah, well, I mean, as someone who's just opened a cafe, we charge $5.50 for an 8 ounce, and I'm pretty sure you can go to McDonald's and get a coffee and it's more expensive.
Straight in with the plug. Kirk, we're going to talk about your cafe. Don't worry.
No,
that is a very affordable
I was concerned.
price.
I was there yesterday. It was great.
Oh, okay, well, yeah. See, Puck's putting respect on my name. Maybe you should. All right, so
So coffee price. You were talking about coffee prices in general before.
Yep.
Any other thoughts on the broader kind of prices across the globe with the coffee?
For me, coffee prices depends on which country you're buying it from.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're buying from Ethiopia, there's there's grade 1, 2, 3, and 4. But actually, if you go to Ethiopia, there's grade 10.
is that grade 10's the good?
No.
Oh,
the
okay,
lowest.
right. So
yeah.
so it's like golf scores.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That can be as low as dollars a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
$1 a kilo, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like no one questions an $18 espresso martini, but as soon as you start saying $6 espresso, whole lot of inflammation there.
It's all in the teeny.
Yeah, it's all in the teeny. But on the other side of it, the Aldi has won the best coffee awarded by Golden Bean in the international coffee chain category. Aldi blend has achieved number 1 status. Are we surprised, guys? It is international coffee chain category. So
Can I say something?
yeah.
I bought that coffee before
Yeah.
and I actually liked it.
It's good. So
Whoa.
No.
Wow,
As in like-
whoa.
If you're talking about $18 a kilo,
Yeah.
with
even
that pro-
cheaper, sometimes like 14.
Really?
I think, did I say? Like
I'm gonna introduce a subcategory. Like there's a bylaw in the spicy takes legislation. There are cafes in Melbourne that say they use another coffee roaster, but they use the Aldi blend secretly. You heard it here first. There are
Yeah.
cafes in Melbourne that are fraudulently using. Well, they're saying they use specialty coffee, but they use the Aldi blend, and you're all for it.
Yeah, and I will even say, kudos to Golden Brown. A couple of weeks ago with Jamie, we did a video that was blind taste testing all supermarket coffees to do it. And bang, Lazio came out on top by quite a bit in our little review there. So it wasn't shocking to me to hear that at all. It does look at a side thing where it goes the unrealistic expectations of coffee prices when you're a small roaster. And, you know, it's hard to get anything out at a price of $40 to $60 for a kilo. So when a giant company that's making razor thin margins is pumping out coffee for $14, it's hard to compete with that on that market. So, I mean, I guess that kind of raises the question, where do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's a good thing that coffee is accessible in that way for people to get it home at that $14 kind of price point to $18 price point? And do you think that maybe it's getting people their foot in the door and then they're trying more? Or do you think it's kind of detrimental to smaller roasters?
For me, you pay for what you get, right? So basically, this is why I moved back to Asia to open a roastery, because I cannot compete with a big company. Can't. It's like, I'm going to roast a house blend. Hey, Kirk, here's my house blend, $55. And then there's one guy walk up to you and you be like, hey, I'll give you for 35. I said, fuck, I can't do 35, man. I'll just go broke. So this is one reason. But of course, you're paying for a micro roastery, more time consuming for them, more QC, honestly. And most of the small micro roastery are like very, very particular on what they're doing. So they put more effort, they care for their customers. Let's say if your coffee was bad, that you call me up, I'll just run up. But if you're a big company, it might take, you know, a day or two. Responsibly, it's just lower.
Yeah.
So you pay for what you get, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good way to say
Well, staying on the golden bean, and not to be distinguished with golden brown, golden bean, they have an overall winner, which this year was Haven Coffee Roasters, and I believe they're based in Sydney. So, you know, kudos to
congratulations.
And this is the international. I think this is like the overall winner, and this is like the world golden bean. From what I gather, I should have probably fact check that a bit more. But hey, kudos to them.
I mean, I don't even know anything about how they judge this thing. What are you basing it on?
Well,
just
I
the
actually know
roasting
some
process?
people who participated in the judging, and I believe they're given the coffees blind.
Yeah.
And there's some quite respectable judges on the panel. So, you know, Hanny, who was here last week, he was judging that.
Hanny.
Paul Asquith, who was also, he's a ASCA judge. You know, he's got a mouth on him, can taste, and he is that one that's going to make one of the little cuts.
One of the little cuts out.
Yeah.
He's got a mouth on
Anyway,
him.
so
You can
yeah,
taste.
so he did that so that they judge it collectively and give blind scores, and then I guess whoever has the most points in the end of the day wins. And Haven Coffee Roasters came out on top. We've got some Titan roasters in Australia, and no.
There's
Well-
never tasted one.
Haven Coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, we should get some next time.
Yeah.
I reckon. Okay.
That leads me into a good question. We talked about it with Hanny, and I thought it was really cool to talk about. Melbourne, a lot of the times, we're from Melbourne, we're just, you know, loving ourselves here, often kind of talked about as one of the best places in the world for coffee. Where do you think, what is the best city, not for like producing coffee, but what is the best coffee city in the world to you?
Honestly,
Yeah.
if you're talking about everyday go coffee, I would say Melbourne.
Oh, you would? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Definitely, no, still.
Yeah.
Still.
Okay.
Let's say you go every corners of the CBD, you still find like a very good, nice flat white, iced latte, bits and pieces, different style. I know this new cafe is called Project Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Project Zero, Kirk's Cafe, amazing. You were there. You went and
Yeah.
visited. I want to hear your experience, but there is one thing that Kirk was mentioning to me that I wanted to bring up. He was saying he was looking through all the people that were posting stories, and he saw someone that was with you post it, and he clicked through onto their profile. Did you have someone there with you?
Yeah.
Or is it- and,
Yeah.
and they had 3.5
Yeah,
million
that's right.
followers.
Yeah.
Who is this person?
This is the question I was going to ask. This is who's that? I was
So
like,
he's a friend of mine, is a Thai actor or Thai superstar. I
He's
would say.
handsome.
Yeah. So his name is Bank, Bank. So I asked him, hey, come over. Well, you know, one of my mates doing a pop-up and Kirk's new cafe. And he just walked up and he took a photo and I'm like, shit. I didn't realize he had about 3.5, but you know his girlfriend has 4.7 million followers.
Oh. Was she
she want to
there?
post?
I think
I'll
she's
make her a coffee.
tomorrow. I'll ask her to go.
Excellent. All right. Deal.
So he's a Thai superstar. He's here for a few months for holidays. Yeah. So I've been showing him around bits and
He's
few
welcome
places.
back anytime.
A few places.
I feel like you'd have a lot of stories for all the people you know and the places you've gone, but maybe that's saved for
No,
the
but
podcast too.
definitely you'll get like a lot of Thai crowd who come to your cafe in the next few days.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll hold you to it. All right, last piece of news. Quentin Tarantino has opened up a coffee shop in Los Angeles. Pam's Coffee is attached to a theater that Tarantino also owns. If I were to cite an iconic Quentin Tarantino coffee quote, I know how good the coffee is, okay? I'm the one who buys it.
All I got is, that's a tasty coffee.
Yeah.
I have no idea who he is.
Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
You don't know who
I
Quentin
don't know who it is.
Well,
Like,
no, I'm
not-
kidding.
he's
Yeah,
only gonna open 10 cafes and then he's done. He's out. 10
Okay.
cafes is the limit, and that's
10
it.
really good quality, keep laws of demand and supply. You keep supply low, you keep demand high.
Mate, stick in your lane. What's he doing making coffee? Why is he making coffee?
Well, it's attached to a movie theater. I think, he's got the name for it. He's got the quotes for it. So, like, I'd go to, if I'm in Los Angeles, I'd go to that cafe just to hold a mug to say, I know how good this coffee is, okay? I'm the one who buys it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I'd do it.
Yeah,
Hey?
absolutely.
But let's get into it. We got Park here. Welcome. Thanks
Thank you.
for
Thanks
joining
for
us.
inviting me.
I guess it's probably, if we're going to approach this like we're reading the Bible or something, we'll start in the book of Genesis. So you're born and raised Melbourne?
No, I was born in Thailand.
Okay, here we go.
Raised in Melbourne.
Okay, so...
And now kind of back into Asia a little bit more, back and forth.
Yep,
Yeah.
and so you moved to Melbourne at what age?
10.
10? Is this when Ginger Thai started?
No, Ginger Thai started about 8 years ago.
Okay, and it's now what we would call an institution?
Yeah, that would be my introduction to you, is understanding Ginger Thai, which Melbourne, one of the best Thai restaurants, absolutely slaps.
Thank
Food
you.
is amazing. I got to ask the question though. As you can see, I'm very white, and I go into Ginger Thai. I love it. Thai green curry.
Yep.
Am I basic for this? Are people looking at me from back behind the bar, behind the kitchen, going, "This idiot"?
Actually,
This
our
idiot.
Thai green curry is pretty authentic.
Yep.
Not 100%, but about 80%. So when you order a Thai green curry from Ginger Thai, you still have a really authentic thing. I still eat green curry from my restaurant.
Yeah.
It's still good. Yeah.
And what would you, if I'm exploring outside of that, what's something I might not know? What's something I might not know to ask for that I should? What absolutely goes hard that's
I
underrated?
don't know if you eat this, but crispy pork basil stir fry and chili.
Yeah, I would absolutely. I'd eat some of that right
Son
now.
is
Should
rocking
we-
his hands
Yeah.
in the
You
background
guys,
there.
Ginger Thai's on Uber Eats, right? I can just,
I have no idea.
I'm just order some of that quickly now. Hopefully it's here by the end
He's
of
across
the
the
podcast.
business. He's across the business. So he's one of the owners of that. I should have mentioned. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a vegetarian nowadays, so the pad kimao. You're doing pad kimao?
We do pad keema with vegetable and tofu.
Oh yeah.
Matt and Sierra was there a few days ago with me, so we ordered pad keema with tofu
I took
and tofu crispy basil.
I took Matt and Sierra to dinner last night, just around the corner, Spice Mix in Brunswick.
Yep.
The best Indian food. And while we're on the topic of curry, that was good. We're going there for dinner next week.
Absolutely. It's a date.
Okay, so Ginger Thai, you're in and around the restaurant for a long.
In and out in restaurant for about 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so your parents had restaurants before Ginger?
No, there was actually this is my uncles and my aunties.
Okay.
So my parents there.
Yeah. So your families had
We had a few restaurants before
Yep.
we opened Ginger Thai. Yep.
Yep.
Definitely.
And at some point, as I understand, somewhere along the way, you got into coffee.
Yes.
So what was it? What was it first that's piqued your interest about coffee?
We had a cafe, and it was like we tried to introduce a Thai cafe with a coffee. So basically Thai food with a Australian style cafe. Then the first thing got me into it was Make a Fine.
Make a Fine Coffee by
Yep.
John and Stephanie
John and
Vroom.
Stephanie. Back in 2016, there's a lot of cuppings in Melbourne. Palm Mary, Make a Fine, Cold Black, Coffee Imports, those kind of coffee cuppings. I kind of like go to those cuppings, and it's like, wow, what is this? This is wild. Back when we tasted the natural from Ethiopia, natural from Colombia, it's like,
I seem to remember myself some of their natural Ethiopians standing out.
yep.
Yeah.
Back in the days.
Yeah.
And then kind of kick off a little bit. Found myself a good friends and good mentor in Asia. Then I kind of elevate from there. Yeah.
I'm going to cut back just to, so you did a cafe that was doing Thai food and coffee.
Yep.
What's that combo like? I'm thinking like flavor bomb food and then coffee. How does that go together?
So So basically the Thai cafe, it was like more like a comfort style, like
Yep.
congee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a bit baked egg and a bit of minced pork, things
Now
like
you're
that. So it
talking
Now
wasn't
you're
really like
talking.
super spicy thing. It's like more comfort thing. But it goes quite well with like a nice long black or a flat white. It compromised quite well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That
it
sounds
was good.
delicious.
It was good.
You may be able to tell it's getting late in the afternoon. I'm just getting really hungry. I'm just asking. I'm like, well, what can we get in here?
I'm
Little
feeling
snack.
peckish now after talking about this. So you've got the Thai coffee cafe.
Yep.
At what point did you start thinking, I'll take this to a new level?
Well, 2020 is COVID. It was COVID, right? We just stuck at home, do nothing. So I was doing live.
I remember.
Yeah. Fuck it. I actually like COVID. Sorry. but
Oh,
No, I like
hot
this.
take.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Sorry.
Wow.
COVID was one of the things that when people were bored, I found like, fuck, I like coffee. Like,
What though? Like what happened that sparked?
I
me,
was
there's
spending
always
like,
a
I
red
was
pill
spending
moment.
like 12 hours.
TaxAct knows small business owners can sometimes use a little help with their taxes. That's why TaxAct has Expert Assist, a team of live tax experts ready to answer any questions you may have. Think of them as your own personal sidekick. Not like one of those funny talking animal sidekicks, more like the super smart nerding out on tax code and business casual attire sidekick, but just as helpful and lovable. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
In my little office, just brewing coffee. Then I was like, hey, this is awesome. And then once you start to know how to brew coffee a little bit more, you're like, you know what is this wash or a natural coffee? And then you're wondering like, you want to go to origins. So then I started going to Thailand to see coffee farms, coffee trees, then get into a little bit more deeper in 2021. Yeah.
What is that deeper step?
So start to know about fermentation, processing, and roasting. That was the deepest step.
And so, did you have a coffee or something that kicked this all off, or was it just like that? Those brewing sessions were really like
No,
going,
the coffee that was really kicked me off was the Samana Bay from 90 plus 2014 crop.
Yep.
That was from one of my teacher. His name is Jake Koo from Taiwan. So that coffee was like wild, dark grapes, purple grape, lavender. And it was like, holy shit, it's like a wine, but there's no alcohol flavor in them. So it's like, bam.
Yeah. And so, let's introduce the listener to what it is you do nowadays. So, I want like big explanation as to how do you spend your time nowadays, the nature of your business and what you do nowadays, and
Right.
and how it operates.
So
'Cause-
basically now, my roastery is based in Bangkok. We roast a lot of coffee and also importing a lot of geishas from Panama and
what's
Colombia.
to explain to the listener as well, a geisha, let's think of like Granny Smith apples and Pink Lady, like the same thing, two different sort of styles or varieties of the coffee.
Yeah, two varieties.
Geisha's like the highest.
The highest. So basically, if we talk about coffee thing, I would say geisha is more closer genetic to original Arabica. So what we drink today. And then we have a lower genetics we call Castillo, Catimo, Catuai, which is has a bit more lower genetic from the original Arabica.
Lower in quality. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you import a lot of geishas.
Yes.
And lots of other coffees as well.
Yep.
And you roast them and you sell them in small amounts.
I sell them in cans or in tubes. So we have a little black tube that can fit about 20 grams in, and then cans fits about 80 grams. And most of mainly customers now, they are in Thailand, Indonesia, bit of Malaysia, and few in Australia. Every time I fly back, I'll bring back in my suitcase and be like,
Yeah.
hey guys, you want some of these?
Yeah, don't get pulled up in customs too much.
No, it should be all right.
Okay, all right, sure, we're right. Okay. So, your business is called Terroir Laboratory?
Lab, yep.
Yeah. And so, I'm interested to know. So those Thailand and Indonesia markets,
Yep.
they're the big markets for drinkers of premium coffee.
Yes.
Okay, why?
So Indonesia first. They don't drink a lot of alcohol,
Yeah.
right? So it's just like Middle East.
Yeah.
So coffee is the next thing to alcohol, right? So the pricier it is,
Better.
I don't know. You reckon?
Yeah.
No, well, basically, if you go to Indonesia, right, there has a coffee place. They close at 9.
Yeah.
And here we close at what, 3?
3, yeah.
Well, they close at 9. So people drink coffee, or people start drinking coffee, but actually after lunch in Indonesia.
Oh, right.
So the coffee, but then the culture is growing a little bit more. So a lot of Indonesian students who comes here, study, they go back, they bring the culture from where we live in here, go back to Indonesia, and the culture is spread a bit bigger. So they're kind of like, ooh, this is like, good coffee. Let's try them out. And then once you drink a good coffee, you cannot go back to a bad coffee, right?
Well, I've always sort of thought of Melbourne specifically as like an incubator for good baristas they kind of like go on and sort of spread the knowledge overseas. Like I know people that have worked here and opened cafes in Japan, Indonesia, South Korea,
Thailand
America.
as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
Heaps.
So you would say that there's a bit of truth to that? Yep.
100%. Even in Thailand, you have like kids who, do like a shift in a cafe, and then they have the experience. You go back to Thailand, they open a little cafe. It's kind of like Australian style coffee, flat white, or presenting like a normal iced latte, or the culture that we have here. Because, in Thailand and Indonesia, it's hot, right? We drink a lot of iced coffee.
They might like my cold brew. I do a really good cold brew, guys.
Didn't have that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Next time.
Well, so the culture kind of spread more because like drinking a hot latte in a hot country is like, it's too hot. But then it's kind of like spread out a little bit more when you have like a really nice wash or natural blend with a nice milk. It's kind of good. Yeah.
This leads me to a supplementary question from one before, if I may. You said Melbourne's the best coffee drinking city. What's
Yes.
like second and third?
I would say Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yep.
Let's go to Taiwan.
Well, if you go to shows in Taiwan, like coffee shows, you see like an auntie, 60 years old, have a little cup tasting coffee. And they would definitely know their geishas.
Yeah,
They're
really?
very mature market.
So very sophisticated
Yep.
coffee drinkers.
So the people in Taiwan, actually, the market's really mature, right? So you go there, if you think, oh, I've got this, they'll be like, I know that farm. But here, you'll be like, this farm? They'll be like, oh, sorry.
No shot.
No chance.
No
But in
chance.
Taiwan, the market is really mature.
Okay.
So if you go to Taiwan coffee shows, you see a lot of like 40, 50, 60 years old come with their little cups in there, hanging the necks, tasting all this coffee around the shows. Yeah.
Okay, and third, give us one more city.
I like Milan.
Milan.
Yeah, when I was in Milan 22. Milan was one of the cities that I really, really enjoy. Even that, that how we think about the Lygon Street from Milan, that it's different. Their coffee is not that bitter or not that dark roasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you go there, you have like a little bit of like ristretto, bit of sugar. Drink it. I think it's one of the best experience, and I think it should be on top 3.
Is it also just taking you back to that kind of traditional vibe, like go in,
The vibe
stand
is-
at the counter?
You know
knock
that
it
one of
back.
those the lever,
Leather machines.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
I love that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't expect Milan to be on your
There's
list.
just something about pulling a lever down. Just feels
so
good.
nice.
Feels right.
Yeah. It's a hot take.
Yep.
Now back to Terroir Laboratories.
Yep.
So you're spending your time selling. What can a 15 gram tube of geisha go for these days? So this is 15 grams of coffee, enough to make one brew. What are we talking about? What's the range?
$150
Australian
to 200.
To 200
for one dose of coffee.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. And how much do you buy at a time of these lots of coffee? So it could be like 20 kilos.
No, so these kind of coffee are more like a auction coffee. So there's these things called a Best of Panama auction.
Okay.
So this Best of Panama auction is kind of like presenting the Panama region, the terroir, then the geishas. So they have the natural category and wash category. And those kind of auction kind of go up to a few thousand $US per kilo. And you can share it with friends. Let's say, hey, Kirk, you want some of this coffee? I'll be like, let's go. Let's do all this auction together. So there's a group. You can buy them in a group. But you can do your own auction if you have like big chunks of money. but I don't, unfortunately. So I kind of like, hey, bro, let's you just gang up like 10, 15 people, and then we kind of like auction them together, and we kind of like spread out the kilos.
That's sick.
But then the price as this last year, 2023, it kind of go up about the natural $3,000 a kilo. The wash was $10,000 a kilo.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that though. I didn't have the 10,000 on me. Sorry.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
That's a lot of coffee per kilo. To the average punter listening to this, I must think, geez, that's outrageous. And
Yep.
in a way it is. But it's kind of, it kind of speaks to this larger market that's kind of forming in coffee and getting bigger every year.
Yep.
And I always looked at things like Jimmy Butler, for example, who's an NBA,
Buckets.
Jimmy Buckets, who, by the way, I'm just going to say it here and now that one of the goals of this podcast is to have Jimmy Butler on the podcast. So Jimmy,
Bring his Lama Zucco.
yeah, Jimmy, big face, if you're listening, we want you on this podcast.
Jimmy, bring that Lama Zucco on the private jet.
Yep.
Bring it in here.
Back to.
I'll come over.
Yeah.
I'll bring $180 coffee over.
Yeah,
for sure.
Park's going to bring some coffees, so we'll get Jimmy on that one. But yeah, so this larger market and international superstars getting around it. Obviously, Quentin Tarantino's got a coffee shop now. Jimmy Butler's got a coffee shop. Emma Chamberlain does really well with her coffee, even though she's selling like sort of pumpkin spice latte blends and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
That sort of thing. But and even the Australian cricket team, they travel with coffee machines. We've had Adam Zampa on the on the podcast before. It's becoming a much more bigger thing.
Bigger
isn't it?
things, yeah. I reckon coffee-wise, even the guy who visited you yesterday had 3.5 million. He has a coffee shop.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
His coffee shop is in like east of Thailand, quite big. So it's a thing that when you have a budget to run, you want to open a coffee shop. It's just like you, Project Zero.
Yeah.
Well, watch out, Kirk. He's stealing some ideas.
I'm curious to know, did he enjoy it?
He liked it.
Oh,
He
great.
really liked the
Nice.
espresso.
Yeah, the espresso is great. I said
Yeah.
it the other episode. I was like, one
No,
of the
no,
best
his espresso was great.
Yeah,
it was
really
great.
good.
It was great.
Excellent.
So, but let me ask you about
Yep.
like auctioning off coffee. When
Yep.
you're looking at these $10,000 ones, all these crazy
Yep.
prices and that kind of thing, is it like I've been to a few like wine auctions and that kind of
Yep.
stuff, and some of it just comes down to supply, demand, rarity of the the wine. You might go to a wine auction. There's a wine that's $100, tastes incredible, way better than the wine that costs $10,000, but there's
Yep.
only 4 left of the wine that costs $10,000. Is there any of that happening here?
Yes, correct.
Right.
So the best of Panama auction, right, is kind of like if you're running this coffee auction, you need to go through a lot of details. So the best of Panama is promoting coffee with little bit of low fermentation flavor, more cleaner flavor, and showing true genetic of a Panama geisha. That's just the hardest thing to preserve, right? So basically, this kind of auction, when they want to put some of our coffee in the auction, we're talking about it's about 25 kilo lots. So basically, you'll be the only person or a few person in the world who hold this 25 kg. And the demand is when we're talking about you want one of the farms that won before Finca Hartman, like when you want to auction this coffee, this is the best of their farm they can offer. So if you want their coffee, you got to go into auction. You want to be the part of it. You cannot buy 25 kg, right? You're just gonna buy, let's say 10. I say, hey Kirk, you want to auction with me? And you find some other mates to do the overall auction, and then we split it out. Yes, it is a supply and demand because let's say this farm produced 12 kilos. You want it? You're gonna go to the auction. You're gonna be bid. Yeah.
Speaking of supply and demand, I tried a coffee from Longboard Coffee a few years ago.
Yeah.
Spectacular coffee. Justin's a great guy.
I have a story about him.
And he, like, you could get that coffee reasonably. This is just like a year and a half ago.
Yep.
And now the price of it's probably multiplied by 4 times, like generally
Yep.
for all of his coffee. So he's a former wine producer.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Who is an avid surfer.
No, actually, he's an American who married a Panamanian and moved to Panama.
Uh-huh.
The reason his farm called Longboard, Justin, listen to this, because he's one of the best. He loves surfing on his longboard, and if you go to his coffee lab, you're tasting his coffee, you see a really long board right there. So that's why he named his coffee farm longboard.
But he's got two farms, Misty Mountain and Windy Ridge.
He got 3.
Three.
There
what's
you go.
what's the third
so
one called?
the first one is the Fanadio. So basically, Justin is very close with Esmeralda family fathers. So he bought the old Esmeralda house. So that house actually has a farm. So that the farm's called Fanadio is actually only producing Katoai. But Misty Mountain and Windy Ridge producing Geishas, Typica, and Apache. It's a 3 variety. Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's got 3 farms.
but his coffee is spectacular.
Yep.
And this is what happens for anyone new to this conversation is when you're drinking coffees like we have for so long, you actually learn the names of the farms and they kind of become famous. It's like, to me, it's like Pokemon card collection inside my brain.
Oh, yeah.
And it's you fall in love with these things. And I think what's great about it is you kind of get to experience different things from them each year.
Yep.
So sometimes you're like, oh, last year's was better, but sometimes you're like, oh, this year's is different and I like it more.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like one of the brilliant things about it, right?
Yep. So a little bit of longboard. Justin himself is very passionate producer. So he only used about 3 cherry pickers, and he paid them by the hours. So he's a very good guy. So all his farmers are pay per hours, which is not really happening in producing country. And also the same thing is everything he uses. How do I say this? He do a lot of meditation, and everything's about moon cycle. So basically, the full moon, half moon thing, he will pick things according from that as well.
Holistic approach, would we say?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just some of his neighbors would be like Esmeraldas. This is going back to the Pokemon card
Yep.
thing. It's like Blastoise, Charizard.
Yep.
And there's a whole bunch in that little region.
Yep.
And Panama's only like a very small country.
Very small country.
Yeah.
And they're like here,
Yeah.
all around it here. Yeah.
This is completely off topic, but speaking of Pokemon cards, the other day I just went into a thing where I was like, thought about the book that I had from my childhood that is lost to the world somewhere. And I remembered all the holo cards I had, and I looked them up the other night, and I was like, it's like $70,000 worth of cards that would have been sitting in a book somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I had some.
That's all.
this book's not attainable.
I don't know.
It's gone, yeah.
We've got to look,
I used to have a lot of Pokemon cards when I was a kid. Now it's like
If I sold that, I finally would have been able to have some of these coffees that you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the
we
moment,
wouldn't be here talking on podcast.
not affordable. Question: you were talking about before Panama, and you were talking about how you loved that they were keeping a lot of the coffees really clean,
Yep.
washed. Speaking to the terroir, obviously
Yep.
ties into the name of your company.
Yep.
Fermentation and kind of altering coffees and different
Yep.
processing methods is so big at the moment. It's one of the biggest arguments in competitions, whether it
Yep.
should be allowed or not. It's in coffee shops, just people saying that's not real coffee, that's not this. What's your thoughts on it in a whole way? Where do you land on this?
Wow, hard question.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's tax season, and we're all a bit tired of numbers. But here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it. Guaranteed. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Oh,
Okay, I've got another one then. Oh no, you got an answer.
I can answer it. No, what? All right. For me, let's say fermentation flavors. Nowadays, we're talking about processing, a bit of infused, a bit of yeast, a bit of bacteria. Honestly, it's okay. I mean, it's like wine. You have natural wine. You have, well, I don't know, normal wines. You have carbonic maceration wine. It's also, it just, basically it fits on your customer. If it fits on your customer, it's okay. You cannot actually say, oh, you know what, I'm just going to produce this. It's okay by you. If you're going to produce a washed coffee, that's fine. But of course, there's a people who wanted to explore other markets, right? Let's say you have some everyday coffee who drink coffee from your cafe. One day just want to, I want a peach flavor coffee. And you have a producer who do a peach flavored coffee, and if it serves your purpose, it's fine by me.
Could you ever use it? Like I'm not super deep into knowing all the different ins and outs of all this. Is there ever a farm where it's just like maybe there's a bad year of crop, the beans aren't that great. They're saying, could you just use it as a method to be like, hey, let's just ferment this coffee in an interesting way and actually just make it something funky and fun to help farms kind of raise
There
those
is
funds
actually.
to sell it?
In 2023, I bought a coffee from Ethiopia. It's 25 days fermentation. Like, that's about what?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So the coffee tastes like cacao,
Yeah.
like dark cherry, like super fermented flavor. But those coffee, when you blend it with a very good wash and natural, it's become one of the very good blender. So basically, this kind of coffee always find its way to its market.
To its place.
Yeah, to its place, definitely.
And I would say as well that a lot of these coffees that you're describing, they taste really good when you roast them and pair them with milk.
Yep.
So like a milk roast with some of these, we should get some on. We should make some on a future podcast and we'll try it live. But yeah, they tend to present themselves really well in milk, and I think the general consumer tries it and thinks, "Wow, that's
It
awesome."
tastes like Turkish delight.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get
Like
a lot of
ripe
those wild,
cherry.
stewy, boozy almost.
Even you can taste like
kind
a big M with a bit of chocolate, milk on, like big M and with strawberry, things like that. Yeah, it's kind of like it's
me
fun
a
its
big M.
place for sure. Yeah.
And so you're heading to Panama on Sunday.
No, I'm heading Panama on the 18th. I'm
18th.
heading back to Bangkok on the 10th, and then got a few days back in the roastery, prepare some bacteria, because we
No, just that's so fun. Just heading home to prepare some bacteria.
So we have I work with one of my mentors. So we had a lab in Taiwan, which is a bacteria lab. We cultivated from origins. So this is more like stronger bacteria. So we bring it to Panama to do fermentation. Yeah, and I'm heading to the Panama on the 18th. Yep.
Oh
Nice.
man, I'm jealous. That sounds unreal.
Yeah, no, I'm
Sick.
really jealous. And who do you expect to visit while you're there?
So-
What do you plan to do while you're there?
Panama is if you have a chance, Panama.
Oh, look
If
at
I have money to spend and live there, Panama is one city I want to live in. It's really, really good.
Why?
The food, the people, the weather. Weather is just amazing. It's like, you have you ever watched like those Harry Potters, like mountains with cloud and everything?
Yeah.
That's Panama. Best.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so Panama, I understand, is like a bit of a tax haven as
Yeah.
well. Like you don't pay tax if
No,
you live there,
no.
so that probably attracts a fair.
And you
bit.
use USD. You use a lot of USD, US dollars.
Yeah, okay. And obviously big business with the canal going through as well
Yep.
for shipping routes.
So, yeah, if you have a chance, Panama is one of the places I would really suggest anyone who have budget to visit. It's not just for coffee, waterfalls, hiking, nature. Some of this farm in Panama, you still get to see a wild animal. We're talking about jaguar.
What?
Yeah, no, seriously. You know Abu, Jose?
Yeah.
So if you go and live in his farm, like for, I don't know, a few days, you definitely will see a jaguar in his farm. Longboard have a jaguar as well.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
How
And so
many
what-
people are getting attacked by this jaguar? Is it like to protect the coffee farms?
Few dogs
Oh,
has
right.
been bitten by a jaguar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Stick clear of them?
And people say coffee isn't exciting.
No, well, because those are like in the jungle. Those and there's a farm called Nugor, Finger Nugor.
Oh, we love Nagua.
Yep. So Nugor used to won Best of Panama 2022. His farm also have a jaguar, and he actually placed a camera in the trees and take a video and a photo of jaguar coming through in and out his farm all the
Yeah,
time.
right.
It's rad.
Question
Yeah.
about great destination. Just saying where you'd want to be is Panama.
Yep.
Let's take a little trip just to Thailand.
Yeah.
And I got a question. Thailand has to be one of the biggest tourist destinations for people in
Yep.
Australia. Where are we going wrong? Where should we be going? And what should we be doing?
Well, if you like coffee,
Yep, I do.
if you like Melbourne, you go to a place called Chiang Mai. It's like north of Thailand. It's like a little city that is also an origin growing coffee. So Thailand grow coffee, by the way. Yep. And wheat. Sorry, can I say that?
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Hey, it's just facts.
Yeah.
Just spitting
Coffee
facts.
and wheat. Anyway.
I've
that's
never
the-
actually had a Thai coffee. Have you?
No, I've never had a Thai weed either.
There you go.
I had both, sorry.
Yeah, you just pulled-
That's good. So if you like coffee, a bit of Melbourne vibe, Chiang Mai is a place.
Yeah.
So it's like a north of Thailand. It's the origin. We grow a lot of coffee. A lot of coffee cafes. I mean, a lot of cafes. It's a little tiny city. We had about 3,000 cafes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm opening one in there. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Do you want
Yep.
to plug? Does it have a name? Or what are people looking out for?
Not sure yet. It's
All right.
under construction. But if you like places like more beach, more like vibe, like like a beach vibe, like Bondi Beach, you go to a place called Phuket. I think Sonam was there last year.
He was
Yeah.
living it up.
Jealous. It's expensive to go there actually.
How's it going up?
Yeah. A ticket from Bangkok to go to Phuket is will be $600.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually more expensive to fly internationally to go to your own little city in Phuket because it's been ever since it's been legalized. Lots and lots of tourists going to Thailand. Lots. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I've never had Thai coffee. What does Thai coffee taste like? What's the kind of difference from your regular coffee that you'd be out
Well, I wouldn't say Thai coffee tastes different. It's just the variety. So we grows a lot of Katimo, Katoi, and Castillo. So these are more like a lower genetic. So there's a lot of more bitterness, a lot more astringency on a coffee. So that's why those coffee are made on dark roast. But if you actually go to Thailand, taste this kind of coffee, there's a lot more. We use a lot of fermentation now. So in Thailand, we use a lot more like natural fermentation, just get a bit of winey flavor. But it would not so far different from a nice Castillo from Colombia.
So to the listener at home, they might think, why not grow geisha then? Obviously, it's a bit easier to grow some of these varieties than it is geisha.
Correct. Because of course how do I say this? Like the coffee belt. So Thailand's still in the hot side of the equator. So from January to March, it's already about 25 degrees and above up in the mountains. But that's why the geishas, well, for you information, geishas don't really survive in the really hot weather. So they only survive in the colder weather. So because Panama is like 15 degrees all year round in the mountains. It's amazing to grow geisha. Yeah.
there? Right.
Yeah. And so and it's at those elevations as well.
Elevation
right?
as well. Well, you can grow them, but it probably has to be like in the really, really like in the middle of jungle of Thailand, out of nowhere, which is like colder weather, a little bit higher elevation. You can grow geishas at 1300s, like some Colombian geishas are at 1300, but the Colombia is cold at nighttime. You ever been to Colombia? It's cold.
And so why, so obviously weather being one part of it, why is Panama such a good country for growing coffee and for you to do business with?
I reckon for me, Panama, first of all, the soil. The volcanic soil gives so much flavor into the coffee. Secondly, the weather. The weather is really, really amazing.
And so what are there active volcanoes there in Panama?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I hope not, but I don't think it. Oh, actually, that's a good question.
Active volcanoes, jaguars. What doesn't coffee have going on?
Everyone says Australia's dangerous because of the insects, but it sounds like there's a bit more going on in Panama.
Panama? No, yeah, the jaguar, yes, and the active volcano.
Maybe not. We're just talking. We don't know.
We don't know. I have no idea. I need to ask them actually. I'll ask them. A second thing is Panama. The coffee. When we talk about Panama coffee, right? It's more like I think Panama is still only few countries in the world who's still preserving the traditional way of doing fermentation, a washed, a natural, and lower in bacteria, lower in yeast. Just do a traditional way. Just bring coffee, depulp the coffee, and put in a washer, and then put on a raised bed, and let the nature do its thing. That's how Longboard do their coffee as well. So let the nature do its work. Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Now, are you competing in a roasting competition in the World Roasters or something?
No, not at all. So I do.
Never mind then. Moving on.
Unfortunately.
Sorry, that's just misinformation I'm getting from Sonam. So I'll
No,
throw him
I
under the
do
bus.
help in world coffee roasting
Okay.
competition.
You do a lot of supplying of competitors in competitions, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Am I allowed to disclose that?
Probably cannot say names, but
Oh, yeah.
there's a few people in the world who
Podcast.
buy my coffee, supply my coffee. But I have a team that we are competing in World Barista Championship.
Oh,
He's a 2015 latte art champion. So he's Thai.
this is Anon.
Anon, yep.
Yeah.
So me and Anon, we're really good friends. I'm his supporting, in the competition as well. So we're going to Busan the 1st of the 1st of May to the 5th of May for World Barista Championship.
Have you been to Busan before?
Nope.
Have you been to Korea before?
Nope.
Oh man, make sure you go to Jeju while you're there.
Oh shit.
But yeah, no,
Like the Love Island, yeah?
yeah. Oh, it's great. There's like this traditional black pork that you can eat there while you're there. It's awesome.
Right.
But so you're in the shadow realms, kind of supplying,
Yes.
wheeling and dealing coffees to
Yep.
hopefully get someone to the World Barista
Yep.
Championship. I might be feeling cheeky asking this. What's Arnold looking at using? What's on the docket?
All right. I'm not sure I can say this, but
Finalists.
Panama Geisha
Okay, all right. Well, that's good.
and a new variety. No, a new species that has not been used in the world competition before.
Oh,
It's gonna be
You heard it here first.
Yep, it's gonna be groundbreaking, boy.
Something's happening to me.
oh, what's happening over there? Are
it's-
you looking a bit hot?
It's hot. It's time for spicy takes. Bow, 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 bow. Oh man, I thought it was getting a bit hot in here. So spicy takes. Who's that? Sorry, this is your segment. You go.
Well, we have this conversation each time where I have to ask. You go with spicy takes. I like calling it the extra hot take or the extra hot take with 2 sugars, just to tie it into all the annoying people that are ordering extra hot coffees.
So
but I mean, I guess
give it the grand intro like I did then.
You been in
Yeah.
Perth?
Oh, it's good. I'm gonna repeat the entire thing here because I like that. I'm just like,
Go on.
I think I'm feeling a little unwell.
I feel it too.
I think are you guys getting that
bit.
heat wave?
I don't
Are you
think the
feeling
aircon's
it?
working.
I think it's time for an extra hot take with 2
Wow,
sugars.
wow.
Brow, 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 brow.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go to the hot takes first. We've got 2 of them here. We've got some extra hot takes. I hear you've got an extra hot take for us.
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
you
can't
told
remember.
us
What are you talking
before.
about?
You told us
What
before.
was that?
About a certain.
Oh, about a certain grinder. We'll start it again. We'll go back in. I hear you have an extra hot take.
Bum, bum, bum.
I reckon EK is overrated.
Oh! The EK, the
No!
most popular grinder
He
in
said
the
it.
world.
Sorry.
He actually said it.
I just
I
have
thought
to
you
do
were going with the other one,
Nah,
but whoa!
Nah, I gotta do it.
Okay, why?
All right, I reckon EK is really good for cafes. It's easy to use, fast, boom. But when we're talking about like a lab use or using in a proper facility who do a lot of QC, it's a little bit overrated, right? I mean, nowadays you have a grinder. It's easy to change with touch buttons, and easy to adjust the RPM, the speed of the blades, and of course is easy to take it in and out and clean. For me, it's like if you praise EK as the best grinder in the world, I don't think so.
There you go. You
There
heard
you
it.
go.
That's a hot take.
That is
Sorry.
an extra hot spice take. And so, and for those reasons, you feel like it. And this has been sitting on your mind for a little while.
Actually, I don't know if anyone said it, but I might be the first who said that EK is overrated.
I feel like there's going to be like when this gets released, there's going to be a comment section of people with like their worded RPGs on their shoulders, and they're just
I'm gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, you are going to get destroyed.
Hey, that's what we're here for, though. That's where it is. And now I feel like every time I do this, I'm just going to start acting out the same thing. Is it getting a little hot in here? Are you guys feeling a bit sick? Should we just go through it all again? It's time for an extra hot take. Kirk, you've got an extra hot take for us today.
My extra hot take's actually going to go in a different direction.
Oh.
My extra hot take is cold.
Oh, it's a cold take.
It's a cold take. I've made, the last 4 years I've spent trying to be cool, freeze my coffee, but going in a different direction,
Oh
guys.
fuck! No more Project Zero. Really?
I'm getting over freezing coffee. I'm not doing it that much anymore. I still do it sometimes, but I pull
Was
coffee
there
out
a
of the
tattoo
freezer.
somewhere? Where's the tattoo somewhere?
No.
Oh shit!
Okay, you guys are gonna roast me.
That's crazy.
But I'm getting over freezing coffee. And
Wait, just Joe Jonas just walked past
Who's
our
that?
podcast.
Joe
From the
Jonas.
Jonas Brothers just
Oh,
walked
really?
past.
Joe
Straight
Jonas
past.
just walked past.
Did he look at his podcast?
Maybe that's why it was so hot.
That's why I was getting hot in here.
Okay,
Maybe
Joe
he
Jonas.
used an EK.
Ask someone run out.
this guy's killing me.
Ask him on the podcast. Joe Jonas, what do you drink?
During my spicy take as well, gosh.
So, spicy take, keep it going. We want to cut this together into a nice clip.
So I do love freezing coffee. but not as much anymore. And the reason why is I don't like seeing so much coffee in my freezer, clogging it up all the times. I brewed a 4-year-old coffee the other day. It was great. It tasted great. And, that side of it's awesome. But I'm just so, I'm really getting tired of clogging up my freezer and multiple freezers, really, of just, my house used to have like a spare room in it. And I really did have like 2 extra freezers just full of coffee that I just couldn't get rid of. I became a hoarder. It's like a problem. It's like, and I'm sick of it. I love getting coffee fresh and getting a smaller amount and just going for it during the day now and putting it through some not single dose grinders and just really going for it on the day. And I find it's just been a lot more fun. Been enjoying it a lot more. And
you're aging, you're maturing, you're getting into the side of coffee where you just want to do it, get it done. But I find it a bit rich that the guy that had a full company called Sub-Zero doing this is going to tell us that he's over freezing coffee. Don't try to bring it to the world and then shame it and bring everyone down amongst freezing coffee.
I don't know if you guys ever heard him, but I feel like the Liver King when he came out as like, he actually was on steroids.
I actually hate freezing coffee.
Am I as bad as Liver King?
I'm going to say you're worse.
I think he was. I think he's the one who kicked off the freezing coffee.
Yeah, he kicked off the trend. He was the one pushing it hard.
Then owner pushed it, and then you pushed it to the next level.
Mate,
and then the whole world was freezing the coffee.
I've probably permanently moved my neck from all the hours spent doing freezing coffee, leaning over a vacuum sealer or looking down, and just like my back is just. Like I probably got an RSI. I probably got a permanent injury from this.
Do you know what I think is happening here? I reckon someone who was in bed with Hisense or Whirlpool or in bed with big freezers, copping some money, pushing people to freeze, and now they've cut off the funds, and all of a sudden, Mr. No Freeze Coffee over here.
Oh shit! This is big news.
I'm in the Hoshizaki Ice game now.
Yeah.
Well, the tattoo is gonna change as well.
Oh no, it'll stay. But it's like it's a core memory. Look, I'd still do it. From time to time, but I'm just, it's.
Hey, and for our listener that might not be as in depth in the world of freezing coffee and doing that, could you give like a quick rundown of when to do it, why to do it, and how someone at home could do it?
Yeah. So the reason you would freeze coffee is to preserve it longer. Right. And so obviously that's great. And
I feel like Nonnas have been saying this for ages, and coffee specialists, like specialty coffee for a while, was like, no, don't freeze it. That's wrong.
Yeah,
and now we're like, nah, Nonna was right. Freeze that bad boy.
Just listen to your nan. And so you would get it ideally at its peak. So you freeze. So you can vacuum seal it or put it in a tube that is ideally hermetically sealed, so no oxygen can come in or out. And then if you freeze it, it'll preserve longer. If you freeze it like -80, you can pretty much entirely preserve it, but good luck trying to do that for a long time. And you can just grind it straight out of the freezer as well, and that works well.
Does it grind better, I've heard, when you have it frozen?
At a super low temperature.
Oh, you got to,
Yeah, so like you're talking like dry ice or something.
Yep.
That'll preserve it. Coffee's peak. Like a coffee will peak at about, depending on the coffee really, and the style of fermentation. But say for example, it could be a naturally processed coffee, and at 8 days is when it tastes its best. I would say at like day 7 or day 8, that's when you want. That's when you want to seal it and then put it in the freezer.
Yeah. Do you put one of those? That comes in the oxidizer little package. Would you put it in there?
I mean, I've never tried that, but you definitely could. I've had a lot of that success actually flushing with like argon gas and like food preservative gases and stuff like that. And I think there's room in the future for someone to develop something like that.
It's just coffee.
Oh, it's just
that can be saying our name of our podcast can always be the bit where we're diving too deep, and it's just like, come on, guys, shut up. I'm also liking we've got our producer.
From the producers?
No, we've got the producers over here. I've got like boards being held up off camera, telling us like when is the peak of to drink the coffee. He's now holding up a board that says hi. Hi, we've got Liam there. But maybe it's a good idea. Maybe at some point in the podcast we need to get like a microphone over there where it can kind of be like
I reckon you should talk.
the layman questions of like, when we're off ranting about something, he's like, stop, what is that? What are you talking about? And just have the questions coming in, because I think sometimes we need that pull up.
I'm looking at this guy. He looks cheeky. He might just yell DJ Khaled or something at an unexpected moment.
Do you have any more questions? Because as we're talking about freezing, it feels like we're getting ready to put this bad boy on ice. Is there anything else that you have?
No, it's been awesome. I think.
it's
Do
good.
you have anything to say? Any shout outs?
Well,
Give us what's
Where can we
on for
follow
the
you?
future.
Well, Instagram, Brew Boy with double Y. I don't know why, but
Boy,
it's
yeah.
double Y.
I know why.
So basically, what I do nowadays, just go around few countries, exploring variety, fermentation. Panama, Colombia, Honduras, Ethiopia. This year, planning to go to Bolivia, one of your favorite coffee producing country.
And final question on that. I love asking everyone this just so I can know, because I want to get that. We need to start like a tally and jotting these down. What is your favorite coffee drink? Like, what do you drink the most regular? What's your go-to order?
I'm telling you right now, it's an iced mocha.
Oh.
Whoa. Okay.
I love it. This is the funniest.
Seriously.
Every time we get someone on this show, we're all like sitting here like, what I like to do is ferment my coffee in the baths of an ancient Egyptian temple, and then I like to get a cat to eat it and then vomit it into a fermentation
Enchant
rag.
gypsy
And they
tears.
do all this, and then we go, what coffee do you drink? And they're like, flat white, mocha. I like a frappuccino. I don't
really
know why
like
they're all
my
both
iced
Australian.
One of my
sound
best,
sick.
I go to, Burnside Coffee.
Yep.
For the past 6 years, I get iced mocha every day if I go there. Even today. It was one of my favorite drinks.
Awesome.
Maybe that's what we need to do at the start of each episode. We ask, what's your favorite drink? And then we all have to get bought out one of it. And that's what we drink for the episode.
I reckon.
Because right now, an ice mocha would be hit the spot.
It's hot today.
Yeah. Well, that's it from me, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
What a pleasure. Thank you so
Thanks
much
for
for
having
coming
me.
down.
Put it there,
Absolute
Governor.
legend.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll bring a 4.7 million followers to your place tomorrow.
Great. Sounds
4.7
good.
million followers. He's already bought 3.5. Now he's bringing 4.7.
Bigger ones.
That's a cumulative total of beep, 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 beep.
So for
That's
your
like 8.2.
information, next year it's not going to be Project Zero. It will be Project Millions.
Oh, he's going to be printing
Yeah.
money.
I like
he's
this
gonna
guy.
be rolling in
Let's
it.
manifest this. But hey,
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
Look forward to all your adventures to come.
Yep. And as you know, we got Kirk, we got Pac, we got Rohan. Thank you. And as always, it's just coffee.
Yeah.
Thank you.